It was supposed to be the quietest morning of the year. Christmas morning, 2025. The WNBA front office was finally breathing again. After a season packed with record-breaking viewership, non-stop controversy, racial tension, locker room drama, and constant media pressure, this was the one day the noise was supposed to stop. No talk shows, no hot takes, no debates about favoritism or fouls or marketing agendas. Just a pause. And then, at exactly 10 a.m. Eastern Time, everything exploded.
WNBA Finals, and so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments, and so all I'll say is just, it's obviously...
Not because of a league announcement, not because of a breaking news scandal, but because of a single Nike tweet. A 30-second commercial, one video, one athlete. And inside WNBA headquarters, that silence instantly turned into panic. Because this wasn't just an ad, it was a declaration, and it quietly stripped the commissioner of her power. To understand why this moment hit so hard, you have to understand how the WNBA has always operated. For decades, the league has followed one core belief: the collective matters more than the individual. The brand is the shield. The league is the star. Every player is equal. No one is bigger than the organization. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert built her leadership around that idea. It's how the league protected itself from instability. No Michael Jordans, no LeBron-sized figures, just the 144. A system where no single player could bend the league to her will. But when Nike dropped the commercial titled "From Anywhere," that entire philosophy collapsed in real time. The ad didn't feel like a sports commercial. It felt like a movie trailer. Snow falling, impossible shots, a cinematic tone usually reserved for global icons. And surrounding Caitlin Clark weren't WNBA legends or league history. It was Travis Scott, the Kelsey brothers, pop culture powerhouses. The message wasn't subtle. There is no 144. There is Caitlin Clark, and then there's everyone else. And for a commissioner whose authority depends on balance, that was terrifying. What made it worse were the details. If you looked closely, the WNBA logo was barely visible. No heavy league branding, no growing the game messaging. This wasn't about women's basketball as a whole. This was about Caitlin Clark as a standalone product. Insiders later suggested that Engelbert saw this as a rogue move. Normally, Nike coordinates closely with the league to make sure marketing benefits everyone. But this time, Nike didn't ask. They didn't wait. They just acted. And the realization hit hard. Nike didn't need the WNBA to sell Caitlin Clark. They just needed Caitlin Clark. But the timing is what turned frustration into rage. Just weeks before the ad dropped, the WNBA was pushing its off-season solution, the Unrivaled League. A new 3-on-3 league built by veterans for veterans. It was supposed to keep talent in the US, generate off-season revenue, and strengthen the league's ecosystem. And the commissioner backed it publicly. They wanted Caitlin Clark badly. Reports leaked that she was offered over $1 million for a few weeks of work. A historic offer. A Messi-level pitch by WNBA standards. And Caitlin Clark said no. She chose rest. She chose golf. She chose silence. At least, that's what everyone thought. Because when From Anywhere dropped on Christmas morning, it didn't just steal attention. It humiliated the establishment. Within 24 hours, the 30-second Nike ad pulled in more views than the entire Unrivaled League launch campaign combined. In one move, Clark proved she didn't need the league's off-season project to stay relevant. The project needed her. And for Engelbert, that was a nightmare scenario. It reinforced the most dangerous truth possible. Fans weren't loyal to women's basketball as an institution. They were loyal to Caitlin Clark. Which brings us to the financial embarrassment no one wanted to talk about. The production quality of that Nike ad was staggering. Easily millions of dollars. Custom gear, celebrity cameos, global distribution. And then you compare it to the reality of the WNBA. Clark makes millions off endorsements, Nike, Gatorade, State Farm. Meanwhile, her actual WNBA salary wouldn't even cover the catering budget for that commercial shoot. That contrast is devastating during CBA negotiations. Because every time that ad airs during an NBA or NFL broadcast, it sends a message the league can't control. The real money isn't inside the WNBA, it's outside of it. Players see it, agents see it, owners see it, and whispers started spreading. Team owners reportedly calling the league office, asking why they weren't seeing a single dollar from the biggest marketing moment in league history. The rage wasn't jealousy, it was business. The WNBA was being cut out of the profit loop of its own biggest asset. But the most dangerous fallout wasn't financial, it was emotional. Because inside the locker rooms, this commercial poured gasoline on an already burning fire. And that fire has a name: A'ja Wilson. Wilson is a 3-time MVP, a champion, the best player in the world by traditional standards. She also has a Nike deal. She also had a commercial. And the internet noticed the difference instantly. Clark's ad was cinematic and dramatic. Wilson's was simple, flat, forgettable. And whether fair or not, the narrative exploded overnight. Nike is propping up Caitlin. Veterans are being sidelined. Perception matters more than truth. And this validated the worst fears held by veteran players. That no matter how many rings you win, the machine has already chosen its star. For the commissioner, this is her worst-case scenario. Resentment doesn't stay online, it shows up on the court. Hard fouls, targeting, subtle retaliation disguised as physical play. If the 2026 season turns into a revenge tour, the product suffers. Injuries happen, controversies pile up, and it all lands back on the commissioner's desk. Nike made another move that quietly cut even deeper. In almost every WNBA campaign, the league honors its past. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird. The lineage matters. It keeps the veterans invested. But from anywhere erase that history. No legends, no torch passing, no respect tour. Instead, Caitlin Clark was validated by men, rappers, NFL stars, media icons. Nike positioned her outside the WNBA timeline entirely. Not the next great player, a pop culture figure. For longtime gatekeepers of the league, this was an insult. It said, "We don't need your approval. We have global validation." And Engelbert knows how dangerous that is. She needs veterans. She needs alumni. She needs buy-in. But now the league is split between old fans who value history and new fans who only care about Caitlin Clark. And she's trapped in the middle. Which brings us back to a comment she can't escape. In October 2025, reports surfaced about a closed-door meeting where Engelbert allegedly told players they should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal she secured. She tried to walk it back, but the damage was done. And this Nike ad became the ultimate rebuttal. Without saying a word, Caitlin Clark answered, "I don't need lucky stars. I am the star." When a player realizes she brings the eyeballs, the sponsors, and the money, the power dynamic flips. The league stops being the employer. It becomes the platform. We've seen this before in the NBA, but this is more extreme because the wealth gap between Clark and her peers is massive. And looming behind all of this is the fear no one wants to say out loud. Is the WNBA big enough for Caitlin Clark? That question used to sound ridiculous. Now it doesn't. The scale of that commercial suggests global ambitions the league can't yet match. And with a CBA ticking toward expiration, the threat becomes real. If the league can't offer her value that matches her market, what stops a breakaway? What stops Nike and Amazon from building a Caitlin Clark World Tour that dwarfs WNBA ratings? The money is clearly there. This commercial wasn't just marketing, it was a warning shot. And the rage in the commissioner's office isn't anger, it's fear. Fear that the league she runs might just be a stepping stone for the biggest star it's ever created.